A little.
Okay, we're going on the air.
Okay.
And good evening and welcome to another edition of Ralph Williams One-on-One. And those of you who are first-time watchers of this program, this is my interview show. And last 2 weeks ago, I interviewed Al Vento Jr. from Franco's Italian Army. And tonight, I have a very special guest on with me, a friend of mine who we do media together, Madman Mancini, Mark Mancini from Los Angeles, California, Sirius Satellite Radio and Blog Talk Radio, and he has his own media company called Mancini Media. Mark, how you doing tonight?
It's always a pleasure to be on the show. It's sweeping the country at this time of the hour, and man, I am blessed. I know the lines are long with guests trying to get on this show, and thank you very much for the olive branch to be a part of it tonight.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. Mark, tell the audience how you got started in media. What led you to get started in media?
Well, I was born in Pittsburgh, raised in Los Angeles, and when I was down in San Diego, 1995, I figured, you know what, I wanted to get into the radio business. I figured, you know what, it was a passion I had. I can always remember growing up as a kid and always, trying to emanate and, all these, great broadcasters and stuff. And I thought, you know what, give it a shot. Went to a junior college down there, Palomar Junior College. Took a year and a half, didn't quite finish. Was a sports director in the years I was down there. And it was great. Rob Branch was the teacher. He really looked out for me. And to this day, I mean, I'm so blessed to be having a teacher like that look out for me. Got in with the Padres and Theo Epstein. I remember, John Morris, who had just bought the team, came into the studio in a college station in San Marcos, California, sat down with us, and got to know Kevin Towers, God rest his soul.
Right.
Bruce Bochy, who's now managing the Texas Rangers. Got in with the Chargers and, San Diego State Aztecs and stuff like that. And, it's just amazing how far I came. And then I came back up through LA and was given an opportunity in Lancaster with Brian Golden and just built up the podcast. And a break happened at XM 203, Series 217 with Fred Wallen, giving me the opportunity, Darren Peck over there, and just taking it and run with it. And, Philadelphia now, getting into some of these other cities, in Miami with Scott Morganroth and Peter Blake in Tampa and Kyle Nash, and the list goes on, Cornelius. And then Marianne and I and Sal out there, like I said, in Philadelphia at WWDB AM 860. So being a part of all that, also doing the XM ring announcing for the Wrestling Federation for 4 years. What more can a guy ask for?
Let me ask you this, Mark. You're watching Ralph Williams One-on-One, and tonight my guest is Mark Mancini from Los Angeles, California. He has Mancini Media. He's also on several shows, as he has just mentioned, and he's also on Sirius Satellite Radio and XM. He's also my producer for the show Wrestle Talk and on Thursday nights on Blog Talk Radio at 8 p.m. start time with myself and Smoke and Jim Frazier. One other thing, Mark, I wanted to ask you: how'd you get started as a wrestling announcer? What led you into
that? What was funny was I was down in San Diego, and an agent at the time said they're auditioning for a job up in L.A. So we'll go from L.A. to San Diego and then back up to L.A. And it was funny because I was, at the time I was covering the Dodgers and, Clippers and all the Lakers, and coming down to San Diego and doing the Ducks and, the Padres and Chargers. But I auditioned for the XPW. They had a guy that was kind of like a deer in headlights. He was kind of bashful. I remember the summer of '99 it was. And then I tried out. And when I tried out, they liked it. And they put me on the first show. It was in the Valley in Reseda. And, the fans came out and packed the place. And they just started yelling Guido and throwing pizza and boxes and stuff like that. And it kind of took a life all on its own. And I was getting more heat than the wrestlers were, believe it or not. And
Oh,
I
I bet
started
you
to come
were.
up with my own shirts. Yeah. Guido 316, Italian Badass. And another one was Guido 420, SOB Sicilian.
Guido 360. I like that one. That's a good one, Mark.
Yeah, I don't know where they are. I think I sold all of them, but I might have one
Oh,
around here somewhere. But man, they were hot sellers back then, and I was blessed enough to do it for that many years. And seeing the Ron Jeremys and the Corn band, and it's just unbelievable to see the actresses and actors that came out and saw us.
that's great. That is super, man. It's great to know that to have someone like yourself involved with me in the show and involved in wrestling. Because not a lot of folks like talking wrestling, but you and I do. Peter Blake does. Smoke and Jim, we love talking wrestling, and we do a good job with it. I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Our national sports show on Blog Talk Radio has a big following.
yeah.
We do quite a lot of stuff elsewhere, like with Peter Blake on Wednesday night in Tampa. I've gotten a lot of emails. People are so happy to see us on there with Peter, and I think it brings a better perspective not only to his show, but it also brings perspective from us as well, up here in Pittsburgh and in Los Angeles.
Well,
Um,
yeah. Not
so, good.
only that, yeah. When you look at it, I think the most important thing is you got to be authentic. You got to be able to communicate with people, have integrity, character. Those are all the things. Money comes and goes. Building relationships is priceless. And I always say my door might not always be open, but it's never closed. And that's the big key with this is, building those long lasting relationships. And, we know how the business is. It's a cutthroat and everything. You
Yes, it is.
always claim you're Pittsburgh's forgotten son. You're not a forgotten man in my book, man.
No,
You're
I
a
know that.
real important person
No,
to me.
I understand, and I appreciate that, Mark. What I mean by that is we have some high-powered media people in this town that don't seem to wanna give me the time of day. We have radio stations here that, for some strange reason, don't like my show the way I see it, and, I'm not involved in this. I mean, we have 2 talk shows on Sunday nights on 2 of our TV networks. One's called The Final Word, and the other one is called The Sports Showdown. Not one time have I been invited on that program since I've been doing sports podcasts. And I've been doing my sports podcast for 4 years now, and I've been doing the way I see it now for almost 4 years as well. Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's sad.
I don't understand that. I don't get that. And then they have this nightly sports call where on Fridays and Saturday nights they don't have anybody, and you think they would invite me on to talk with with the people and to talk, nothing,
You know
nothing.
what it is? I think today
Then I
is,
get insulted by
yeah.
Adam Crowley. I mean,
Well, I think what happens is people are afraid to open doors for people. They're insecure in their own
Yeah.
right. I've been doing this now 18 years radio, 4 years with TV. And I look at it like this, Ralph. And, I always tell people this. Sometimes you got to block out the naysayers. Sometimes you got to put the earplugs in. Got to get the ice in the veins. And you got to look at these people as pylons on a highway. You just got to go around them, and bust down your own doors with your own people that you're involved in. And
Yeah.
that's what gets you there. I mean,
I have
um,
a good group of people here. I
yeah,
mean, I have Claudia Rosano, I have Luther
great
Dupree,
man, great
Jim
guy.
Prince. Yes, I have some great guys here that I work with in the media, Dave Finoli and some other guys. So,
The other
and I'm,
good man.
my Sports Corner shows get notoriety. I got guests on just about every Tuesday. So, I mean, and I got national guests and local guests. And
Yep.
sometimes I have one and one. Tomorrow
Yep.
night, I got local guests coming on, and I got Leo Haggerty coming on after that. So
Oh,
what if
Leo Haggerty's funny, man.
yeah,
He's
I got
great. You got to
yeah,
get Harry Berg. Harry Berg's another good one.
I have to get Harry on here, or on Sports Corner. I have
Yeah,
to get him on sooner or later. Harry the Great, yeah.
yeah,
He's an interesting guy. I'm interested to see what the Bears are gonna do this year with that number 1 pick. That's what
yeah.
I'm interested to
That's
see.
interesting. But just to fall back on the whole Pittsburgh thing, I'm going my third year with the Pittsburgh Pirates and Tarek Brock. And, I thought I'd be in Pittsburgh, last year and, maybe this year, but, it takes time, to grow these things. And Tarek's giving me that branch is like you did tonight here. And I'm really excited with that, doing another third year with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Hey, great.
Twice.
Good for you, man. I'm happy
Yeah.
for you. I really am.
But little by little, it'll, you know what? When God opens up his door and says, you know what, it's time to open it up for you, Ralph, or for me, that's
Right.
what it is. It doesn't come on our time. It's his time, and it'll come. It'll come when we least expect it.
Absolutely. It always does. That's always the way,
Yep.
isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, back when I started in radio, it was all on who you knew. Nowadays, nobody, like you said, wants to take anybody in, on radio because they're afraid they're going to lose their job. And from what I understand from some people I know that got out of this town that were in the media, they were in the same boat. They trained somebody, they brought somebody into radio, and then the station liked them better, and they ended up getting fired or whatever, and I had to move on. So what I'm saying is yeah, it's a cutthroat business. It's like that. Like Mark Madden said,
You
wrestling
gotta
is.
get Warren. You gotta get Warren Brewster on your show.
Yeah, there you go. You're right. Yeah, yeah. But
Anything,
anyway,
anything you need, yeah. Let me
yeah.
know.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I'd like you to see if you can get me some credentials for the Pirate games. That's what I would.
Oh yeah. The Buccos, man. The Bucks. You're right down there with Tarek, man. God,
Yeah,
how lucky you are, man. I only get to see
yeah,
when he comes out to the West Coast.
yeah. I'm interested to see what Marty Leaf's got to say tomorrow night from Run Bunter about this Andrew McCutcheon thing. As you know, everyone's making a big deal about it. It's a great thing. I'm glad he's here again. I'm glad that we're going to have him here for, for a veteran presence, which we need. We have too many young guys. We don't have a big veteran presence in the locker room. And, they're signing some pitchers here and there. They just signed another guy the other day. I can't remember his name off
Well,
the
you
top.
got two guys that can lead that clubhouse in Rich Hill and Andrew McCutcheon. I like the pickups of G-Man Choi. I
Yeah.
like Connor Joe. I like
Yeah, it's
Santana.
yeah.
There's some guys there that this is going to be great, man, to see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Bucks are going to be exciting, man.
I think they might do a little bit better this year. And you're right. And everyone's projecting 24 is going to be the year for them. I think.
Yeah, that's
I
it,
think
man.
they're going to finally take. You know what they say? Take the leap. They're finally going to take the leap.
They're going to do some damage this year. Watch out,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people. I'd have to say for some of these teams, you better adjust the mirrors. Pittsburgh's coming.
That's it. Uh, Mark, everyone, you're watching Ralph Williams one-on-one. My guest today is Mark Mancini from Los Angeles, California. He has his own media company, Mancini Media, shows on Blog Talk Radio that he produces and also co-hosts in as well and hosts. And also he does shows on satellite radio and across the country on different podcasts. Cornelius Brad Hanna, Peter Blake, Scott Morganroth. I've been on Scott's shows as well.
Oh yeah, another good man.
I've had Scott on mine. The one that I miss right now, he's having some personal issues. Steve Belisarie, I've tried to get him on a few times. He's backed away from doing podcasts. I know he was telling me about
Good
some.
man.
He is a good guy. I actually was on a Patriot show with him on his Patriot podcast when the Steelers were playing the Patriots, and I was live from Sugar Creek, Ohio. And I took the time, even though I was on a personal trip, to get on the air with him, because he took the time to come on my show. And that's the way I am. You've seen me many times. How many times I've come on our Thursday night show? Where was that one Friday morning we did it? I was in Sugar Creek. Remember that?
Yeah.
We did the Friday morning thing, and then I was in Wheeling, Wheeling, West Virginia. So I mean, Erie. I've been in Erie already when we've. So I've done the shows because I love doing this, and I'll take my studio stuff with me and set up in the hotel room.
It's amazing, man. I'll tell you, you are the legit man that takes it to the road and then some.
And then some. That's right. I've even done it in my car.
Yeah.
Remember
I remember some of that. I remember
to the hospital. Yeah, and I had to do it from my car. I mean, I'm like,
I remember some of the shows we did with that wrestling. They thought you were doing it in the bedroom too.
Yeah, that was yeah, there you go. You're right about
Yeah,
that.
one listener said, "Is he doing the show in his bedroom?"
I,
but
yeah, but I've done it in my car. I mean,
yeah,
it's both ways, this way and audio. I've done it both ways because I had to. I mean, I don't let people down. I've been sick a few times. I couldn't go on the air, but I mean, other than that, most of the time I'm on the air, and
yeah.
stuff like that. So
But it's such amazing to sit here with a Berg boy here and my
uh, uh,
brother in arms, and just to sit here and get the whole
yeah,
recap
it's
of
great
what's
to have
going
you in
on.
my presence, man. I enjoy having you in my presence as well. One other thing I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
and I've asked this to Marianne Costello and to Sal when I've had them on. Uh, how did you guys get Liberty Bell Smack started? What led you into doing that?
Well, I think what happened was they contacted me
Uh-huh.
and they introduced me to Sal. And I said, I made a promise to Mary Ann because I met her about 3 years ago. And I always made up, I think you're based on your word, and
Yes.
and and that's what it comes down to. And I basically said, hey, listen, I told Mary Ann when I first met her that I knew what she was capable of doing, that I was gonna, run it up the flagpole with her. If anything I got, I made sure she was gonna come with me on it. And when the Philadelphia thing presented itself, I basically stood there and said, hey, I'm not coming into Philly unless I can bring Mary Ann with me. And I'm going to
Whoa.
delay it about a month and a half. And they said, okay. I delayed it for a month and a half. And then I brought Mary Ann in there. And Mary Ann's probably one of the best moderators in the business.
Yeah, she is.
Without her, I mean, geez, it's tough, man. Mary Ann is, she is the glue behind everything we do in Philadelphia. And the last year now in Philadelphia, it's been a bonanza for the radio out there and everything. And the teams, the Phillies got to the World Series, the Eagles are in the Super Bowl. So I mean, we're living high off the hog.
How interesting is this, Mark? Four times. This will be the fourth time the Phillies been to the Super Bowl, and all four times they were in the Super Bowl with four different coaches. You didn't know that, did
Yeah,
you?
I didn't.
Dick Vermeil,
Yeah.
Andy Reid, Sirianno, and Doug Peterson. Four coaches, four different coaches they've been to the Super Bowl with.
Well, you know
Not
what?
a lot of people know that.
Right, when you look at this team, I think they're more so driven more than ever, and it's us against the world mentality.
Yes.
They're the number one seed coming out of the NFC. They blew the Giants out, blew the 49ers out. The Chiefs, on the other hand, number one, kind of, had a little more easier path. Jacksonville was kind of ran on empty there. And the next game was Cincinnati. Who knows? That game could have went into overtime. So, but I really think Philly's going to take it to them. I think Philly's hell bent on bringing the city a championship there in more ways than one, like they did against the Eagles. Patriots.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that it's going to be an interesting game, Philly and Kansas City in the Super Bowl. This is going to be one Super Bowl that I think these are two evenly matched teams. One other thing too, I was impressed with was two of the first year coaches that actually were actual first year coaches, and Mike McDaniel down in Miami, and Brian DeBow. Oh, three of them actually. Brian DeBow up in New York, and Kevin McDonald up there in Minnesota. Those were first year coaches, and they had teams in the playoffs. I couldn't
Yeah,
believe.
it's, I mean, well,
Oh,
it's the foundation that's set, and then you go in there and you bring your experience and knowledge and what you learned
right.
previously, and you just incorporate it where you are, and then it's all hands on deck. That's basically what it comes down to.
Absolutely. Are they? Is there any rioting going on down there, or any protests about that Memphis thing down there?
No, it's not going on around here, and it's
Pretty quiet here.
unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunate what's happening in today's world. It's almost like a broken world these days. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's walking around angry.
You know what? This is interesting. I do production at my church once in a while. Okay, I had a 16-year-old kid say to me, and that's pretty sad when it's coming from a 16-year-old. He said, "Ralph," he said, "this country is angry. Why are we angry at everybody?"
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I almost fell over. I mean,
Yeah.
it was, or I almost fell out of my chair, as they say, because I didn't expect to hear that come from a 16-year-old.
Yeah. No,
For
he's absolutely
a
right.
16-year-old to know that our country's angry, and that goes to show you that not every youngster is on the cell phone or playing around with Xbox or running around with a gun in his hand or in her hand. You know, you
Well,
know.
I think
Yeah.
the biggest question why we are where we are is, and this is just my personal opinion on it, is when you take God out of the equation, bad things happen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah, you're
that's
right
that's
about
the
that.
key.
You're right about that, Mark. That's the the whole concept there. What's in the wrestling? I mean, I know you did the announcing or you were the ring announcer. Tell us some of the wrestlers that you've met over the years. I mean, I'm talking about some of the bigger guys.
Wow, Sandman,
Oh,
um,
yeah. Whoa.
Abdullah the Butcher,
Oh,
the
boy.
Dudley
Oh, I
Boys,
remember his matches. Oh my.
The Dudley Boys,
The
Shane
Dudleys. Yeah,
Douglas, who's a Pittsburgh boy.
yeah. You know,
Um,
Devon just quit the WWE. You know that?
yeah, Sonny, another
Oh,
one.
yeah, she's in
Uh,
jail.
Chris Chris Candido, God rest his soul. Um, just so many people. I mean, and, Nicole Bass, God rest
Oh,
her
okay.
soul.
Yeah, I
You know,
drove a cab for 15 years. I had some of them in my cab. I had the fabulous Moolah, May Young. I had her. I had Paul Bear, Henry
yeah,
Godwin. I had
Sabu was another one.
get
Yeah,
out. And I used
Rob
to
Van
meet
Dam,
a lot of the wrestling
unbelievable.
when I did security for ROH Wrestling over here at Stage AE in Pittsburgh. Here, I met
Yeah,
Cody Rhodes.
like yeah,
I
I got to
was
meet a lot of them.
a couple times. Yeah, the Young Bucks. I met Adam Cole. I met a lot of these guys, and then NXT when they used to do their live shows here. I met Ciampa. I met Adam Cole. I met some of these guys. So it was. I
Yeah,
met Velveteen. I'm in jail dream.
yeah.
You know, I met him.
But I was blessed. The travel was nice, and stuff. We went into Pittsburgh for a couple shows, Philadelphia. Yeah,
Hey, wow, I didn't know you guys were here.
yeah.
Jeez. Wow, that's crazy. Where were you guys at? At what?
We were in. It was oh God, where was it in Pittsburgh? It was outside of Pittsburgh a little. The Beaver Falls area, I believe it was.
Oh, okay.
Oh God.
Was it Beaver County Community College?
Oh man, I'm
They
trying to
have
think.
events like
God,
that.
where was it? I can't even remember where we were in Philly
Okay.
a few times. But yeah, it was a the wrestling's a gypsy style, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're on the road a lot. Uh,
Yeah,
did you see that, documentary I told you to take a look at, 350 Days?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing,
that's an amazing
unbelievable.
documentary. I mean,
That's a
it's like
true one
you would
too. That's true.
it
They're on
it
the
is.
road
I
all the
bet
time.
it is. Yeah, they are. I just got done watching
Yeah,
The Wrestler last night. That's a great movie, The Wrestler,
yeah.
with,
And it's
Mickey
just
Rourke.
amazing. It's just amazing that people don't understand it. It's not like other sports where you get a break. You only get like 10 days off pretty much, or 15 days the most.
At the most, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I watched many documentaries like Jake the Snake talk about how he lost his family, and a lot of these wrestlers lost their families
Yeah, you
because
got to have strong families to stick with
family,
you these days.
almost like being a truck driver. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Not a trailer driver. You're
I
out on
think.
the road all the time.
Well, now I think the WWE is more or less a fireman. You're there 3 days. I think you're off four.
Oh,
You got
really?
to.
I
I
didn't know.
think it might be something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they got their wrestlers now doing live shows again. So
Yeah,
with that, and then you got Raw and SmackDown.
yeah,
So you're doing like you said 3 days a week. You're working.
yeah. You might. Yeah, exactly.
So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who does Saturday night's main event. They got that going again, and they got this Sunday
I
night.
saw a guy wearing a T-shirt not too long ago. Saturday night's main event. Boy, is that a classic! Got to bring
I,
that back.
I remember when that was on national TV.
Yeah.
Remember when that's how far
Yeah.
back.
Channel 4, 11:30 at night.
Yeah, it was. It was on.
Saturday night's main
on
event.
it was a great thing to watch.
Yeah,
Now,
it would go to 1 in the morning. It would go to 1 in the morning, and usually on Saturday night's main event, belts would change.
oh yeah, yeah.
You know.
Well, now
So,
WWE is talking about changing belts during live shows. Now they're talking about that because they're trying to get more people to go to the live shows. I mean,
wow,
I'm talking about the house shows. I mean, the house shows. You know,
that's amazing.
yeah.
Well, I told you, The Rock would be at WrestleMania.
No,
Rumors circulating around here that he's
he's not going
coming.
to. It's going to be Roman versus Cody Rhodes. You know, he won the Royal Rumble last night. And then Rhea Ripley went on the women's side. Now you got the Judgment Day. I was just looking up here. They're coming out looking like motorcycle people now. They come out
Oh
with a vest
God,
and a big
they're stealing the Undertaker's badass thing.
badass thing. Yeah,
But it's going to
they're
be interesting. I haven't, you haven't watched Raw tonight. It'll come on in a few hours,
yeah.
but it'll be interesting to see the aftermath to the Bloodline.
Oh, that was crazy last night. Well, see, I watched it last night because I had a prior obligation on Saturday, and I couldn't watch
Wow.
it. So I watched it last night, the replay, and oh my gosh, what I saw! Whoa! I could not believe that was all
I
going down.
guess they handcuffed Owens and the
They
old
cut hands
Sami Zayn to
and they
do
had to say it.
something.
Yeah, and he
And
told me, "No, I'm not doing it." Yeah, and
Yeah,
then he hit him with it, hit Roman Reigns with the chair. Oh my! And then Jey Uso walked out, and now they're playing Twitter tag now, Mark. They're back and forth, Roman and Jey. You know, I don't want you in the bloodline no more. Don't even show up. I better not see you at the end of the or at the finish.
wow.
Oh, it's a mess. It's a big mess, and you know, hey, you know what? It makes for good drama, and that's what wrestling's about now, drama. And it's
Yeah, it's going to get interesting now as we're on the road to WrestleMania.
yes, it is. It's going to be really interesting. Mark, thanks for being on the program tonight. I really
I
appreciate it.
love you, brother. You know that you're a
I'll
brother,
play
a mentor, and a
one-on-one.
friend. And anytime I can help you is more than you do for me. And I can't wait to see you Wednesday in Tampa with Peter Blake and the gang.
I'll be there. You know it.
I
I can't
love you, brother. Say hi to the
wait here,
lovely
Mark.
wife.
Have a great
And
one.
stop doing the shows from the bedroom.
Oh, there you go. Have a great one, Mark. Thanks. All right. All right. I was Mark Mancini here on Ralph Williams one-on-one. And you can catch this show on my archive versions on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube as well to my YouTube channel. And you can get all the archive shows, the Sports Corner, Ralph Williams one-on-one, Talking Wrestling, and The Way I See It as well. Talking Wrestling and Sports Corner, I do with co-host Smoking Jim Frazier. And all shows are trending and up, and I'm getting more and more subscribers. So I urge you to do that. Next time on Ralph Williams one-on-one, I'm working on some really good guests to come on. Just check my social media pages for all of the times as to when you'll see Ralph Williams one-on-one once again. Have a great night. Thanks for watching, and be safe.